Good afternoon, everybody. This is me, Jason Gregory, European Sales Manager, coming at you with another Jason Spotlight interview. This is where we interview people that are doing some really good stuff in their business. And I'm really excited to be interviewing a lady today. She's new in the business. She's really excited. She's already started making waves in the business. She's impacting people's lives and she's got a passion for what she does. And so this is a name for you to listen out for and watch out for the future. But I just want to welcome Jessica onto Jason's Spotlight. Hey,
Hello,
Jess, how you doing?
Jason. Thank you for having me. That was a nice introduction.
No
You're
worries. I'm
fabulous.
excited
You're
to have
fabulous.
you. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on the spotlight. It's good for the really well to get to know you. I know you're excited about what you're doing, and I know you've got like a passion for helping people and so forth. So I just thought it'd be great to have this chat with you, really. So I've prepared a few questions, but we're just gonna have a chat. I just want to find out more about you. People can find out a little bit more about you, and we can see where it goes from there. So first of all, Jess, what is your work background?
So I actually started off as a secondary school science teacher quite a while back. And then I got into marketing around the last 10 years as well. That's basically what my background is.
Okay, so what caused you to get into that line of work?
The teaching. I I really think teaching is one of the best things you could do. It's extremely rewarding to watch somebody figure something out or to help somebody um, do something that they're stuck on. And I really like young people. I think I used to connect with them better when I was younger, but just watching like the clogs in their brains work and it's just a really satisfying thing to do. Um, and then I stopped doing that because I wanted to look for smarter ways to work. So then I started looking into marketing, which is actually also a form of teaching that I found.
Mm,
Um, and so then I went into marketing because I was jealous of my mum traveling all the time, and I wanted to try and find some more flexible work.
right. So how did you find that transition from teaching to marketing? Obviously, yeah, marketing is a form of teaching, but obviously it is kind of slightly different in the way you work. How did you find that transition?
Um, I honestly just decided to go broke. So I was running a couple of nice little businesses as well myself. I was earning like $100 an hour. I was pretty comfortable. I didn't need to work that much, very low overheads. But there were certain things I wanted out of work. And like I said, I was just really jealous of my mum doing things that I wanted to be doing and traveling 3 or 4 months out of the year. So I had to make a really I personally made a conscious decision to just be like, okay, I'm going to pack this in cold turkey and just be broke for a couple of years and figure out what I want to do. So it was just a decision. It was just a decision. Yeah, it was a drastic decision, but
And
that's what I
so
did.
when you was making that transition, because obviously you've got an interest in health and wellness. How did that spring up throughout all of this as well?
I think my health and wellness story and interest has happened in parallel to all that. I remember when I was a teenager, I remember feeling desperately panicky and hopeless because I had an auntie who was very, very sick and she was living with us at the time. And I always wished that I could have done something to help her. And back in those days, there was no Google, and I was a teenager myself. I didn't know how to research. I didn't know how to look for solutions. So that was like at the back of my mind. It was a big part of my life, seeing that happen, and it just carried me forward. It was just there constantly. And then in my 20s, I started to get exposed to different alternative type of treatments, which I mean, just like nutrition, just using nutrition to heal the body. And I thought to myself, oh, I wish I knew that when my auntie was here. I
Right.
could have helped her. So it started, and at first I was very skeptical and cynical about the effects of nutrition, like actually allowing the body to heal itself. So it took me a while, but once I got it, I was like, oh, okay, note to self, if I ever get sick, I'm doing something like that. And then a couple more decades went past. And then I've been unwell myself in the last few years. So I've just been looking at things, tampering with a few things. But ultimately, the last year or so, it's been my parents. I've really wanted to urgently improve their lives and get them to not just live as long as possible, but to have the best quality of life possible as you're getting older. And so I just went on a mission to like help my mum, even though she was doing so great for her age already. She was doing amazing. But
Mm.
I just thought, oh, can we do better? Can we do better? So I got her on weight training and I got, little things here and there. And I was looking for some better nutrition and I came across what I came across.
Okay, okay. So obviously you're one that is not you don't run away from taking risks. I mean, you stepped out and started your own marketing agency, and you said you're going to go for broke. So you understand the importance of doing your own thing. I mean, in terms of entrepreneurship, why is that so important to you?
Oh, it is really important. I've grown up with it. I've grown up with it in family. I was daddy's girl. So if I wanted to spend time with my dad, it was really tagging along with him in business. That was the best way. Grew up in a plumbing shop, and it was just like family time. Being an entrepreneur and being involved in business was definitely part of family time. And through observation, I noticed the flexibility of it all. You know, it's a very hard-working thing to do. My dad was very hardworking, but I noticed he would also be able to just go and serve a family member for a few days or a few weeks if he really, really wanted to.
Mm.
And just that whole ethos of just watching my brother in business as well, he would say, buying and selling is the way to go. He wouldn't call it business, he would call it buying and selling. So I think if you've got something that you can sell, a service or a product, that really is you're never going to be homeless,
Mm.
something like that. You're never going to be jobless. Because I watched a clip a few weeks ago of this man. He lost his job. So he said to his wife, right, let's make bread and let's start selling it. And it's just having that entrepreneurial spirit is really, really important. That spirit is so important. It's not natural though. It does have to be nurtured and trained to get that, yeah, so it's not easy, but it's definitely the safest way to live is to make sure. I think everyone should have an entrepreneurial spirit, whether they work on it or not. I think it's just really important to create that kind of working environment.
Okay. So you have that kind of ethos already in terms of your mindset in terms of being an entrepreneur. You went on a journey of discovering about nutrition and wanting to know more about nutrition, and eventually you stumbled across the Really Business, which marries those two things together. I mean, what attracted you the most to the
Do you
Really
know when
Business?
I saw that you were going to ask me this question, I was like, oh my goodness, because just last week I started writing down a few bullet points and checking with my checklist because I was looking for a business to cover as many of my check boxes. And so I was summarizing it last week to share with some friends. So I've actually made quite a few notes, but if you want me to be brief, I'll try and be brief. But I've already spent several years looking for the perfect business type. And, like I said, I closed down my two perfectly running businesses to go back to the drawing board to look for something smarter. And even on my sick bed, I was continuing to research and try different things. Um, so so when I first found Relive, I didn't notice it straight away. Well, I'll be honest with you, I didn't notice it straight away. But after a few weeks, I was starting to have shivers down my spine. I was thinking, hang on a minute, it's ticking this box and this box and this box and all the things that I was looking for. And then one day I just felt like, a traveling merchant looking for a rare gem and like, oh my goodness, I've just found it. I genuinely felt like that for such a long time. And so I mean, I've made a list of I've got like 11 things here. I don't know if you want, I probably can try and pick out a couple of them. Let's see. Um, okay, the first thing I wrote was how the current world that we're in is designed to keep us very busy. So I'm always looking for ways around that to work smarter. And like I said, buying and selling is definitely the way to go because you can have automated work. You can work in your sleep, literally, and you can earn in your sleep. And but you can't leave a job in your will. but you can leave a business in your will.
Mm.
It can carry on growing even after you die. So that was one thing. Another one was why I was jealous about my mum. Working from anywhere in the world really, really appeals to me. So not just flexible hours, because I had flexible hours in my businesses before. So not just flexible hours, but to work anywhere in the world, and not just a higher hourly rate, because I got to $100 an hour. You know, that wasn't it was more than that I wanted. I wanted it to be automated. And last week, you know how sick I was. I think I had COVID, I'm not sure. I spent a whole week in practically in bed, and I was running my business from bed. You know, I became master affiliate literally from my pillow. So one of the biggest things, I'll just do another one. One of the biggest things is the value of a team. I knew that the next business I'm going to do, I have to have a team. It's really, really important
Mm.
because working alone is very slow. You can do it, but you can do more with support. Um, if I want to, I can work 1,000 hours a week. How is that possible? Well, because there's only 168 hours in a week. So how is it possible with a team? Because you can work ridiculously more efficient and effective rather than being a solopreneur, which is what I've done before. And that's the definition of leverage, isn't it?
Mm.
I know you know, we talk about leverage all the time. And um I'd love to come out with a really good definition of leverage. You probably got one off the bat, you know, because I don't know, but like, you know, when you're opening a paint can or something,
Mhm.
it's the lever, isn't it?
Right.
But
Yeah, to leverage the leverage leverage the top off, you need more weight, and so if you got the right amount of leverage, you can open up more tighter things.
yeah, exactly. And like where you put that amount of pressure on that lever. So it's just about being smarter. It's just about being smarter. Um, so yeah, I was definitely looking for a team, and I thought with my previous business idea, I thought, okay, I'm going to start hiring, I'm going to start interviewing, I need some manager skills, and I was ready to do it. But hey ho, look, I found a ready-made team, fantastic team. Not just, you know, you've got to be careful in what team you enter. But I thought, you know, this is done for me already, and all I've got to do is add to it, add to the team, and help it grow. So a team is definitely, you know, looking for a team is definitely an effective way. One of the things that attracted me to a relive business.
So you was in your bed. You got to master fill it from your bed, like you said. So I mean that's a milestone in everybody's business. Any new person to get to that master fill it level as quickly as possible is a really great milestone. What's your next really goal?
My next relive goal is to find 37 warriors.
Okay.
So I've got a customer base, which is like I can see that's like naturally growing without too much effort because I've learned how to do that now. I've learned how to develop that now, and it's just growing naturally. So my next goal is to really um, grow a team, grow a team of like-minded people. And you know, my time is very limited, so I want to be selective in who I bring into this team, who I'm going to be training with. So yeah, I'm looking for like-minded people who've seen the benefits of this as well.
Okay. Now we get people that watch the Jason Spotlight interview that may be in the business already, people that are not in the business, people who have referred people to watch it and so forth. What would you say to somebody who's maybe looking at really for the very first time? Probably, or maybe they've looked at it a couple of times, still in the process of doing their due diligence. What would you say to somebody why they should get involved?
Well, I could go on and on about it, honestly, for like an hour. And all I can say is I've done my due diligence. I'm happy to share my thoughts of my due diligence, perhaps on another call. But really, what's the risk? You know, I've just touched on a few things that make it very appealing. But what's the risk of putting your foot in the water? Really, it's and And conversely, if you balance that out with what's the risk if you delay, what's the risk if you delay? Because I've noticed, the older we get, time becomes more precious.
Mm.
Every year becomes more precious. You can't be wasting months and even a year because there's only so many that we have. So what's the risk if you keep on delaying? Because this doesn't take a huge investment. It's not a risky decision. And that's something that I've had to work on is just be more decisive, be more decisive. If the risk is small, it doesn't mean don't make decisive decisions if there's a big risk. Yeah, don't make stupid decisions. But if there's a very small risk, just do it, get your feet wet and see what happens, is what I would say.
Wow, that's like the definition of courage. The definition of courage is face the fear and do it anyway. So no, I definitely hear that. Have you got any last words of encouragement that you want to leave somebody people who may be watching?
Um, I was thinking about how my relive journey started with two particular big lessons. I've had a few, but they started with two big ones. One was tearing myself away from my sentimentality of other ideas, of maybe things that looked a bit more glamorous to me, or maybe I thought would just feel nicer or whatever. But it really is thinking with your head and not your heart. And I remember the day I had to really tear away myself from being sentimental to the business idea I'd already developed for the last year or two, teaching a specific foreign language. But I thought, no, this ticks more boxes, Jess. Like, why are you even thinking about it? It's the heart, it's the ego, it's the pride, isn't it? And then the second thing was like I said already, is decisiveness. Decisiveness. If something's not a big risk, what are you waiting for? Don't do something stupid like marry someone after you know them after 6 months. That would be a stupid risk. I've tried that one before. Don't do that, right? But like this is like minimal risk. Get your feet wet. That's all I would say.
Excellent. Jess, I want to thank you for taking the time out, allowing me to come and have this little chat with you, and no doubt I'll get you back on in the future, and just so people can just see your progression as you continue to grow your business moving forward. But like I said, once again, thanks for coming on to the Jason Spotlight interview.
Thanks, Jason.
There you have it, guys. Jess, she's so focused at what she wants and what she's going to achieve, and that's what it's about, guys. It's about having that laser focus, keeping your blinkers on, and going after what it is that you're working towards. Because we've got something that everybody needs. We're addressing two areas that people struggle with the most, which is their health and also their finances. But also in developing a team and working with a team, people grow personally as well. If you heard the things that Jess was talking about, she's talking about personal development and growing into a new person. And as you're building your Relive business, that's exactly what's going to happen. So if you are already in Relive, I would encourage you to continue to be consistent with what you're doing, continue to grow personally, continue to go and help as many people as you can. If you're watching this for the very first time or listening or hearing about Relive for the very first time, I want to encourage you to get back to the person who invited you to listen to this information, and they can tell you more about Relive. Well, guys, we have the best products in the world. We have the best opportunity that people can go into. But if we don't go out and tell people about it, we'll have the best kept secret. And that's not what we want. So go out and make it happen. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time interviewing somebody else. So until then, stay really strong. And I will speak to you all very soon. Take care, guys.